Hey guys, what we'll be doing in this video is taking a graph, looking at the line on the graph, and finding the slope of that line. From there, with that slope of the line, we will be able to find also the y-intercept and go backwards and start with the equation. So, by the end of this lesson, today you will be able to identify the slope from a graph and create the line's equation. Remember from last week that in our equation, y equals mx plus b. B is our y-intercept, m is our slope. B is where we begin, m is how we move. So let's try the equation. Y equals 2x plus 1. Nice and easy to get us started. Our b, our y-intercept is 1, so we are going to begin at the point of 1. Remember that as the coordinate pair as 0, 1. And m, our slope, is 2. And remember that we want our slopes to be in the form of a fraction. So really that's 2 over 1. So we're going to move by a rise of 2 and a run of 1. 2 is positive, so we go up 2. And for our run, we always go to the right. You'll see on the y-axis that we began at 0, 1. From there, we are going to go up 1, 2, over to the right 1, up 1, 2, over to the right 1. And if I want to go backwards from the y-intercept, I would do the opposite. Instead of going up 2, I would go down 2. And instead of going to the right 1, I would go to the left 1. Put my point. Connect my points, and I have a line. Again, this just shows my linear graph of the linear equation, y equals 2x plus 1. So now let's do this whole thing but backwards. Let me give you a graph first, and then have you go backwards and figure out where you begin and how you move. All right, here's the best line I could draw. I'm going to start by identifying my y-intercept, so where my graph crosses the y-axis. I did start with an easy one. We start at the origin, so we begin at 0, or the point 0, 0. So far I know that my b equals 0. Now I want to find what my m equals. So I'm going to look at any 2 points on the graph, and every time I read a line, I read it going from left to right. So from up here, going down the line to here. So I'm going to choose any 2 points. I'm going to just choose those 2. This point right here at the origin, you'll see goes down and to the right to our second point. So we are going from the origin down 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So what that looks like then is moving by going down 1, so negative 1 to the right 3. So I'm moving down 1 to the right 3. My slope, my rate of change, is negative 1/3. So when we put it all together, our equation is y equals 1/3 x plus 0. Or that 0 doesn't need to be there. What I've done is I started by identifying my y-intercept, and then I found a second point on the graph, and I determined how I moved from that point on the left to the point on the right, and in this case I went down 1 over 3 for a slope of negative 1/3. Let's try one more example. And by one more, I mean another one. We'll do a couple more examples. All right, here's my graph. I've still color-coded the y-intercept to be pink and the second point to be green. Notice that we begin at this point right here. That's where our line crosses the y-axis. So the coordinate pair is 0, negative 1, negative 2. So our b is negative 2. Moving from our first point to our second point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And from here, I'm going to go over 1. So I went up 4 to the right 1. So my rise is 4, my run is 1. So my slope is 4 over 1, which could also just be written as 4. So my equation for this line is y equals 4x minus 2. I could also write that as 4x plus, in parentheses, negative 2. That gives me the same value. In this example, you have just a line. Okay, I did my very best job. It was really hard to draw a straight line. So when you are given just a line, you're going to identify points. This is supposed to be a point. So this point right here is our y-intercept. So we begin at 0, 2. Our b value is 2. So our y-intercept is 2. Other points that I can identify are this one. Oh, wow. I did a really bad job. Oh, and this one. Okay, so those are 2 other points. And remember, when we read a graph, or when we look at that line, we're going from left to right. Left to right. So let's find any 2 points. I'm going to choose this one and that one. So let's figure out how we move from our first point to our second point. From here, we go down 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2. So our change in y is going down 3. Our change in x is going to the right 2. So our slope, our m, is negative 3 over 2. And I'm going to leave that as a fraction. And why do I want to leave it as a fraction? Because then it's already in the form of rise over run. It does equal negative 1.5, negative 1 5/10, but I'm going to leave it as this fraction. So our equation in slope-intercept form is y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. Again, I took this straight line. I found points on the graph, so where it crossed to make a coordinate pair. I found where I began my y-intercept for b. I found how I moved from one point to the other, going left to right, and that was going down 3 over 2, so my slope was negative 3 over 2, and I put it into my slope-intercept form equation. Your task now for the remainder of class is to start by going into Moodle, the Moving Straight Ahead section, down to the Investigation 4 folder, and you're going to see a PDF titled Finding Slope of a Line. You're going to open that into Notability. So start a new note in Notability under the Moving Straight Ahead folder. And in this note, on this PDF, you're going to complete it. You can compare it with others. I also will have the answer key at the front table. Then you're going to complete an exit slip. That slip is on the front table. I will post it on the smartboard, the question. This is just for me to assess whether or not you've grasped the concept of finding slope of a line. So complete that and put it in the Core 2 basket when you are finished. Your homework for tonight is to do the ACE problems 2 through 12, which is located on page 74. With that, you're going to obviously complete it, and then you're going to correct it. The answer key is on Moodle. After you do that tonight, so completing and correcting, you are going to come to class prepared by watching a video lesson called 2 Points. So you have to complete your ACE and correct it. You will be turning that in tomorrow when you come to class first thing. And then you're going to watch the video lesson 2 Points. So you're going to learn that tonight, and then you will come to class tomorrow ready to go doing the classwork for that. All right? If you have any questions, just check in with me. Watch and rewatch the video to just make sure you've clarified how to go through and do this skill. And good luck with your homework, and let me know if you have questions.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.